up, everyone? Welcome back to B.roque, and today we are doing another episode of Let's Review This, and hopefully better than the Book Scavenger review. I'm just going to apologize real quick. The Book Scavenger review, you have to understand, I haven't read that book in like 2 months. I really put it off. It was bad, but really read Book Scavenger. But now the book that I'm reviewing today, same day as Book Scavenger, is All the Answers. So the book is about Ava, which she is really like panicky. And she gets this magic pencil that tells her answers of factual questions, like what is 2 plus 2? Because gosh, no one knows that answer. Anyway, so as you can obviously like put together, someone asks some pretty difficult questions, like, now I'm surprised no one pulled out what's the meaning of life, but one of the questions, spoiler, is, does my mom have cancer? And her mom does. So she tries to get her appointment, which she is about to have an appointment. But because she's so panicky, she's going to be a tutor on their new field trip that she's not even wanting to go on. It's like this obstacle course in the air, and she just thinks of every possible way it could go wrong. And she's just super panicky. Gosh sake, she didn't even spend the night at her friend's birthday party. That sucks, man. So her mom stays home, and she braves this whole course, and she ends up making it to the very end of the course, and so many few quit. And then the doctors find out she has cancer. She gets treatment. Hurrah! It's the end of the book. But then there's another prophecy earlier, and it's about the grandpa is about to die. And before he dies, what does he want? He wants to see a concert from this jazz person, but more importantly, he wants Emily's mother's forgiveness. So it turns out that the grandpa, when his wife dies, the grandmother, he went on a gambling spree with all the kids' college money. Yeah. And that's why his mother is mad at them. And they get that resolved. But it turns out that the blue pencil that's telling all these fortunes actually has like a soul fragment, not the whole soul, but a soul fragment of the grandmother, the grandfather's wife, is telling us all these facts. And when he went gambling, he was gambling with that pencil. He was winning so much, but then he lost it, and it all went down the drain. Yeah, it's a really suspenseful story. There's also a side character, Sophie, and she's asking all these like stupid questions, and Book Scavenger, Ava is like, dude, we have to use these for factual questions or else the lead will run out and we will not have this pencil. Yeah, so that happens. So the grandpa dies and they bury the pencil with him. And because the pencil suggested it, and they should live their lives without worrying like the pencil would have caused them to do. Let's talk about this. Honestly, I loved it. It was an amazing book, but love can only go so far. I liked it. It's not as good as Echo, Worst Class Trip Ever, or Book Scavenger. That's just easy. It's not as good as Book Scavenger. Better than War That Saved My Life. Sorry, I'm just playing with this. Yeah, it's so I can say it's better than War That Saved My Life by far. And it's really suspenseful at some parts, and some parts you have to stop reading, just time restraints, and you're like, no, I have to find out. Oh, you have to find out what's going to happen, and why this has happened. The big question for like maybe a fourth of the book, because they introduced it kind of late, maybe a fourth and a half, is why the grandpa wants forgiveness. What does he want forgiveness for? And it's super suspenseful, and it's super good, and the resolution, the mom forgives him, and it's amazing. But it's still just not as good as Mr. Book Scavenger. but it is an amazing book. I would highly recommend reading it. If I would classify, it's not adventure, it's something you go along with. Really good book. Here. But I would not recommend you read it first. I'd recommend you get some of the better ones out of the way. Or if you want to do it reverse, do the worst, save the best for last. Read this maybe like 5th, 6th, I don't know. So that is it. It was a really good book. I highly recommend you read it. But not as good as Book Scavenger, which is not as good as Worst Cleft Strip Ever, which is not as good as Echo, or they're about in the same league. So that is it, guys. That was our 4th episode of Let's Review This. Peace out, cool dudes. See ya next time.